I don't know if y'all watched the vice presidential debate the other night, but I watched a little bit of it, and right after it was over, I heard this commentator, I think it was George Stephanopoulos, say that Mike Pence had been mansplaining against Kamala Harris. And this is this term that these feminine kind of people like to talk about, where a man basically expresses his point of view and it's considered mansplaining because he doesn't understand what a woman's going through, right? So it's this idea where the woman's perspective is the relevant one and the man's perspective is ignorant, and he's attempting to explain something through a masculine paradigm. It's this really weird new agey concept that goes around, but it got me thinking about a topic that I wanted to address. It's not a political video, but just this idea that in our modern world, it has become so feminine that how do you maintain being a masculine man in this world when even when a man opens his mouth to debate a woman, it's considered mansplaining? So in this video, I've got 5 things you can do to be a masculine man in a feminine world. Now, before we get into that, my name's Keefe. I made this channel to build better men. So if you're a guy who's out there who's looking to improve his life in any way, hit that subscribe button and bell icon. I put out new videos every single day to help you do exactly that. So let's get into the video. First thing you got to do, guys, is take women off the pedestal, okay? And look, before I get a bunch of hate, women are great, okay? But they are human beings just like men, right? And we've got these campaigns that go around like believe all women, right? Anytime a woman accuses a man of sexual assault, it must be true, even though we know they've lied a lot. Like sometimes it is true, but a lot of times it's also not true. So this whole campaign and this idea that men are supposed to be servants to women in this sense, not literally, but as if our woman's happiness is our top priority. We have to sacrifice everything to do that, and we put them at the center of our lives. And this is such a foolish mistake. You're already putting the feminine paradigm ahead of the masculine paradigm. There's just this idea in our society that men should just drop everything, right? Like we got our life going on over here. Maybe we're doing great. We got a lot of girls that are interested in us, but if a girl wants a committed relationship, we're supposed to drop everything and get into that with her. If she wants to do this other thing, we're supposed to accept it, right? Like a lot of times nowadays, they act like you shouldn't mind if she's a single mother, all these different ideas. This is so foolish, guys. You have to be your own mental point of origin. That's part of masculinity, is that drivenness and that understanding that you are making your own decisions. You have to have that self-confidence to do that. Second thing I've got, guys, is to stop playing it safe, okay? The comfort zone is a metaphor for staying close to your mother when you're young, right? Your mother's the one that wants to keep you safe. She doesn't want her children to die. Makes sense, right? But if you're spending your entire life from this paradigm of I need to stay safe, I can't take a chance, I don't want to leave the comfort zone, that's a feminine paradigm. That's like staying in the mother's womb, right? Symbolically speaking, because inside your mother's womb is the safest you'll ever be. So when you stay within the comfortable domain, the things you understand that don't scare you, this is a metaphor for you living your life in your mother's womb, right? The mother's womb is everything that you understand about your life that feels safe to you, but you have to step out into the unknown. That's what a man does. That's what the masculine spirit does. So when you deny that call, which our society encourages us to play it safe, go get the 4-year degree, because that's what the people tell you to do, right? We're always looking at experts rather than looking at ourselves, and these experts keep fucking everything up, right? Because this is why we got $1.3 trillion in student debt and a bunch of guys with $200,000 in debt working as baristas at Starbucks and crap like that. So these experts don't even know what they're talking about most of the time, but we always listen to them because we want to play it safe. We hope somebody else knows the truth instead of us. So we're going to play it safe. We're going to get this 4-year degree. Then we're going to climb the corporate ladder. We're not going to like anything we're doing, but at least it's safe, right? At least we have our 2 cars garage, and at least we've got the new iPhone and all this stuff, but my soul's dying, right? So if you're playing it safe, you're robbing yourself of that masculine spirit, and you'll know it. You know it every time you reject that call to adventure, to step outside, do something dangerous, do something bold and confident. You always feel it within your soul. So you got to stop doing that. You got to step out of your comfort zone and take actions towards your goals. Third thing I got on here, guys, is to start being direct. We have replaced direct communication about issues, which is what men used to do, with this fake nicety, polite and crap to each other's face, followed by just shit talking when each other leaves the room. This is a feminine thing to do, right? Women are a lot more conflict averse. This has to do with just raising children from a biological perspective. Women could not afford to be very dangerous, like physical, like aggression type of situation. This is why men suck with babies, right? Because we're kind of more naturally aggressive. We're not very like gentle, typically speaking. Our society's trying to train us that way. But naturally speaking, we're not that way, and women are more that way. but we have replaced, because a lot of times in this modern world, we've been raised by our mothers and we've been raised in this polite society to say nice things to each other's face, but then we badmouth each other and we never get any grievances off our chest. And if you don't address issues, they just fester and become a problem. And I'm not saying you go around just telling everybody to F off and stuff like that. I'm just talking about if you have an issue with a friend, right? Don't sit there and badmouth him when he leaves the room. Tell him what the issue is. Let's work it out. And if he's a man as well, then he's not going to take it personally. You'll deal with it. You'll keep it moving with your life. This is something that I really struggle with. This blew up a lot of my friendships when I was younger, was this inability to address issues because I had this natural insecurity around conflict. But this is something you just got to train into. It's a muscle. If you start training yourself to be okay having a conflicting situation, not feeling like you're going to die, which sometimes your anxiety can make you feel that way, you'll get more comfortable with it. You'll just have more open relationships. You can trust somebody who's comfortable saying something that you're probably not going to like to your face. You can trust that person in a foxhole. You can trust them in any part of your life. You can't trust the person who says sweet nothings to you in your face and then you hear about all the crap they've been saying behind your back. So be more direct. Fourth thing, guys, is to start leading. This kind of goes along with some of the other ones I've been talking about so far, but you have to make yourself the mental point of origin of your life. You're not going to be happy if other people tell you what to keep doing. The masculine spirit is the leading spirit. It's the driving force, right? Even when you look around the world, there are female world leaders, but they use, it's a masculine quality of their psyche, because women are capable of this as well. Like, that masculine part of the psyche is the one that's kind of like driven and focused and goal-oriented, that spirit within us. So you'll look at these female leaders around the world and they also possess that quality and they use that in their leadership capacity. But if you want to be a masculine man in the world, you have to make your own decisions. You have to be a leader. You have to just know where you're going. You have to have the confidence to stand by that and accept whether or not people are going to like it or not. Most people aren't going to like it if you're doing something on your own and you're being a leader. Most people are like sheep, right? So if you want to be the shepherd or something, or you want to be the wolf, whatever it is, the example, the metaphor you like, whatever it is, if you want to be that thing, you're probably not going to be liked by the pack, but you got to accept that. That's part of being a leader. And you're going to just feel more confident when you do this, right? Because you're robbing yourself of so much if you don't make these decisions for yourself, becoming a leader, asking yourself, like, what do I want in every area of my life? What do I want my health to look like? What do I want my future to look like? What impact do I want to have? How do I want to make my money? Just asking all the questions and knowing the answers to what it is. Even the small things, like, where do I want to go eat dinner at with my girlfriend, right? Instead of asking her, which is the old thing that girls can't stand when their guy says, I don't know, whatever you want to do, because they're looking for the masculine spirit to lead. So start taking leadership responsibility over every part of your life. Fifth one, again, goes right along with these, is to stop being a doormat, okay? You got to stop letting other people dictate the rules for the game to you. Again, this is not a political video, but if you watch the presidential debate between Trump and Joe Biden, you'll notice that Trump, whether or not you like him, he definitely owned the room. He was the dominant man in the room. He was the masculine spirit in that room because he wasn't letting anyone tell him what was going to happen. Like I said, I don't care if you like Trump or not, but that is a fact. Like, you can't deny, like, the moderator couldn't control him. Joe Biden couldn't control him. He was under Joe Biden's skin. He was dictating the whole situation. You weren't going to cut him off or say some lie that he was going to let get by you, and he wasn't going to play by the rules of the debate. If Joe Biden was going to be saying something that he disagreed with, or if he didn't like the moderator's question, he was not going to let that happen. Again, I'm not saying that you can just be this unruly person who disregards all societal norms, like, fuck it, I'm being masculine because I'm going 90 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, and F it if I get a speeding ticket. I'm not talking about stuff like that, but just, like, you don't have to play by the societal rules all the time. You don't have to let, like, oh, be polite, this person's speaking, I'll wait and listen. Like, no, sometimes you just got to be the man and put your, like, dick on the table, honestly. Like, the point here, guys, is, like, maybe you're in an argument with somebody and you're making a point and all of a sudden they start talking over you, right? And you shut down, right? That's kind of like being the doormat. I'm talking about, no, you talk over them. You put them back in their spot. You have to understand that these things might seem primitive or uncivilized, but our brains are still wired for the frontier, right? This new technological society we live in is not what we're evolved for. We're evolved creatures from a dominance hierarchy, from creatures that still live and run around like chimpanzees. Like, if a chimpanzee runs into a chimpanzee from another tribe, they start ripping each other limb from limbs, right? That brain is still in us. So whether or not you want to act like this stuff's primitive, you can't be a doormat and expect to be a masculine man. You have to own your stuff. You got to have self-respect. If people are talking over you, they're they're putting you in a position that you find unfair. Maybe the food comes to the table and it's not the food you ordered. If you're a doormat, you just eat it and say it was great, right? But if you're a real man, you say, hey, excuse me, this is not what I ordered. I want what I ordered, right? So that same mindset, guys, that's how you be masculine. You can't be a doormat. You can't just let life keep telling you what you're going to accept. You say, no, like, I'm in charge here. I'm going to make these decisions. Guys, that's all I got for this video. If you got something out of it, give me a like so I can reach more guys to the algorithm. Hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.